No, because it's going to take up way too much room. All right, just hold on a minute.
That ain't the ice.
Okay, we're live. Hold on a minute. Okay, hello everyone. Yes, this is going to be perfect. Okay. So first of all, I want to tell you all that you are going to be underneath my stove eye. No, the big one. The lighting is probably not going to be like, guys, my hair looks crazy, but no, the biggest one.
That is the biggest.
No, it's not. Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on, you guys.
Oh,
Yes. Hold on.
sorry.
Okay. All right, go ahead and close that. Yeah, we've already got the big one. All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Cooking with Morgan and JP. Do you want to say hi, honey?
Hi, honey.
No, come on, get in the screen. Down.
So, how you doing?
Okay, guys. Anyways, we're about to be cooking for you guys. This is going to be a new recipe for me. I have cooked for you guys blue million times, but this one is new. This is something that I have not done. I'm trying to get my hair like up and out of the way. Also, the lighting in here, I can't fit a ring light behind my stove. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like the lighting, then don't watch, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and have John pull the veggies out of the fridge that I've already prepped them. I'm just going to have him pull them out so that you guys can, God, my hair looks crazy. So that you guys can just see what we're working with vegetables. This is called Sunday Funday Mexican dip. And I've also got some homemade sirloin jerky cooking as well in my dehydrator. So there's several components. The jerky has 2 hours left to cook. And okay, we're going to start with the veggies. Okay, so I have a whole bushel of garlic, and here's a tip that I found out online today, is that if you don't have lemon or lime juice and your recipe calls for it, you can use Sprite. It cannot be zero sugar Sprite. It has to be regular Sprite, which we happen to have. So I was able to use that for several different things today. And so the first thing I'm going to show you guys is the cilantro. This is a full bushel of cilantro with some Sprite added into it. And guys, I tried it and it tastes just like I put lemon or lime juice in it. It's not bad at all. You have to put way less than you would if it was lemon or lime. So I just put a capful in the cilantro. Here you go, babe. This can go back. Next, we have a can of black olives, and hands have already been washed, by the way. This is a can of black olives. I have put half a cup of Sprite and some sea salt in this, and these have been split into halves per the recipe. Here, honey. These right here are some cherry tomatoes that I put through my slicer, and they have just salt on those. These are ready too, baby. And then I've got 2 types of diced and sliced red onions. So these are sliced and these are diced. The sliced, they're all going to go into the recipe, but the sliced ones are going to go on top and the diced ones are going to go into the meat. So I'm going to go ahead and keep these out because we're actually going to be using those. And I'm also going to keep out these next couple ingredients as well. I have a whole jalapeno. Now, depending on what you and your family like for heat is going to depend on whether or not you take the seeds out. I left the seeds in. This is a whole jalapeno that I have diced up, and that is going to go inside of the meat. And then I also have a green pepper that I'm also going to keep out that has been diced up in different sizes. So it specifically says in the recipe that you need 1 green pepper, 1 jalapeno, and 2 red onions. And for the red onions, it says to slice them in like little slices, and I used my little Pampered Chef slicer. And then the rest are just thinly diced, like you would put in like a pico de gallo. And then for the green pepper, it said to dice and slice. So I've got slices like this, and then I've got bigger dices. But all of this is going to go inside of our meat mixture. And then it called for 3 cloves of garlic, which I have right here, and they have also been cut up. Also, I have a whole bag of sharp cheddar cheese, and then I also have a whole bag of, for some reason, the sharp cheddar didn't have to be manually, how would you say that? Manually shredded?
Yourself.
Yeah, it didn't, but the Swiss cheese did. I don't know why. Hi Braxton, hi E-Money.
Did you show them the shredder that we have?
Oh God, you guys. Jesus. So, this is my cheese shredder, and for reference, here's my head. Like, anyways, so shout out to my husband here for, get down. He's like 6'5", you guys, for shredding that. Okay, and I'm gonna have him go ahead and put this cheese back into the refrigerator because this is gonna be a little ways out before we're going to use the Swiss cheese. Okay, so aside from those things I just showed you, the other things that you're going to need is between 1 and 2 pounds of ground chuck. Now, it's going to depend, according to the recipe, which I will have tagged below once this goes live and once I've posted it. But according to the recipe, it kind of depends on the amount of people you're cooking for. But also, what I read in the recipe is that the amount of meat doesn't change, or the amount of other ingredients doesn't change. The only thing that changes for a larger group of people is the amount of meat. So, anyways, there's that. Also, in a separate plastic container from Whole Foods here, I have a packet of taco seasoning. I have it says a dash of cayenne pepper, and I have some beef broth. And this is supposed to set for 30 to 45 minutes. And it's supposed to not be poured into the mixture until it's room temperature. I'm also going to be using my green pan. This is my favorite pan ever. You can get these at Ace Hardware. You can get them. That's where ours is from, is Ace Hardware. Okay. I also have a 16 by 9 baking sheet or baking pan. I'm about to have John go ahead and get this ready. What it says to do in the bottom of this pan is to just take a stick of butter and to just rub it along the bottoms and the sides. So John is about to be doing that off of camera for me, if he doesn't mind. The other things that you're going to need for this recipe is any type of Mexican style rice. It does say you can also use yellow rice, so if you prefer, hi Joseph, yes, I do remember you. If you prefer yellow rice, you can also, I love yellow rice, John does not love. What do you need? You need that one.
This one rub butter?
Yes. No. John does not like yellow rice, which is crazy to me because it's so much flavor and I just love it. So if he liked yellow rice, I would definitely be using yellow rice because I feel like, exactly, Joseph, yellow rice has so much flavor. It's so good. But John does not love it, and my cousin Chelsea didn't love it either. So, which he doesn't like chicken, and yellow rice typically has a very chickeny type flavor. So what I had him get was just the Mexican style rice. This is by Old El Paso. We got this in this, you want to get all of your stuff in mild except for the salsa, because there's going to be a lot of spicy things. Like I said, we have the jalapeno with the seeds. There's also going to be hot sauce involved. So this is a 8.8 ounce or 250 grams of Mexican style rice. It has long grain white rice with kidney beans, bell peppers, and smoked paprika. So this is going to be going in the Sunday funday. Also, you do need drained a 15.25 ounce or 432 grams of whole kernel gold and white sweet corn. It specifically says sweet corn. This is just what our Ingles had, so we have gold and white. But this does need to be drained. Next, you also need a 16 ounce or 1 pound of refried beans, and they don't need to have any seasoning in them. So the recipe says to get traditional or non-seasoned. They add chicken bouillon. Yeah, exactly. Even red rice, we add chicken bouillon. Yeah, so he does not like yellow rice. He likes Mexican rice, but he does not like yellow rice at all. Yellow rice is my favorite. I love it. I love it. Okay, so we got the refried beans. The other thing you're gonna need is sour cream. I'm not gonna have him grab that out of the refrigerator because I wanna keep it there. You're also going to need a whole block of cream cheese. I have that sitting on top of my air fryer. You're also gonna need your favorite hot sauce. Guys, if you can find this online, it's the Legal Hot Sauce Medium. This has the best flavor that I have ever had in my life. It is made in Brazil. So good. And this is the type of peppers that it has. Malagueta peppers. I'm not sure. I'm probably butchering that. This is the best hot sauce I've ever had. Now, John has also bought me the mild and the hot, and the flavor is just not the same. The medium is the best. I eat this literally on everything, and John can tell you, I literally eat this on everything. So you're going to need a 1/4 cup of that, and then also you're going to need a whole jar of a salsa, and it specifically says medium heat. So John got this Pace restaurant style salsa. So we're going to use that as well. And again, outside of this, what you are not seeing is tortilla chips, which we have over here. You can use whatever tortilla chip that you want. I'm probably going to use my, what are they called, honey? They're the Dorito.
Oh, she's got the Flamin' Hot Nacho Dorito.
No, they're not nacho. Yeah, Flamin' Hot Cool Ranch. These are so good. I have a full bag over here. I'm going to use those. John is probably going to use the regular tortilla chips. I'll probably also use a few regular tortilla chips. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and start by heating up my green pan. So let me go ahead and get you guys down here. Let's see. You guys can see. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this on to medium-high heat. And into this dish, I'm going to go ahead, and it calls for butter. So it calls for an entire stick of butter. So I'm going to go ahead and take a full stick of butter. Do you guys see? I'm hoping you guys can, because you guys are facing the pot right now. We're going to go ahead and put that in the pan and let that start to melt. And while that is melting, I am going to go ahead and grab my ground chuck. Now, this recipe specifically calls for ground chuck, so that is what I'm going to be using. It also calls for a pound for 2 people, so that is also what we're going to use. Let me turn this to where you guys can see us good here. And what we're going to do now is just really wait for this butter to melt into the pan. It does say that it doesn't have to be all the way melted, but it does say that it would prefer to be at least pretty close. And for some reason, this eye on my stove eye does not heat as quickly. So if you have the same issue with your stove, for example, this recipe says to have your stove on medium high heat. I have mine on high right now, and when I put the veggies in, I will go ahead and turn this heat down. So right now we're just going to wait for that butter to melt. That's just going to take just a moment. Really the only time that I ever see a full stick of butter is, quite honestly, like when we're baking. But this recipe does call for a full stick of butter, so we're just going to melt that butter up. It doesn't say to season the butter at this point, so I'm not going to do that. Normally, I would go ahead and put a little bit of salt or pepper, because this is unsalted butter, but I'm not going to, because we are going to add salt and pepper and other seasonings into the veggies. So I'm just going to leave this. Also, over to the side, John has already went ahead and buttered our 13 by 9, and what I'm going to do is he's going to actually put that in the microwave for me. It says to heat it up for 15 seconds, 15 to 30 seconds, so I'm going to have him do that for me as soon as he gets back in here. Our butter is almost melted, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is give it just a few more seconds to completely melt. Just put that in the microwave for 15 to 30 seconds for me, please. It won't. Okay, so what we're going to do then, because he's saying it won't fit, is we're going to go ahead and empty this out first off. And I'm going to go ahead and place it on the top rack for me. And I'm going to go ahead and set my oven to broil. That way we can go ahead and melt that butter a little bit that's in the baking pan. Okay, so now that we're at this point, it says to first dump the onion in. So I have two different types of onion here. I have some sliced onion and I have some diced onion. I'm going to go ahead and dump all of the diced onion, or half of the diced onion, excuse me, into this mix, and all of the sliced onion into the pan. And I'm just going to leave the rest of this. This is going to be topping. So we're just going to go ahead and put that into the the refrigerator. And I'm also going to go ahead and dump my green peppers into the pan. And we want to get all of those out because it did call for a whole green onion. We're going to go ahead and dump our jalapenos into the pan. And at this point, what it says to do is to give it about 30 seconds to go ahead and start to steam and open up. And then we're going to add some coarse salt, and we're also going to add some pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding that now. So again, I'm first going to add some coarse sea salt. So these are just bigger chunks of salt. I'm going to go ahead and start adding that in there. It does say a half a tablespoon, excuse me, and I feel like that's plenty. And then I'm going to take the lid off of my pepper and sprinkle. And we're going to go ahead and stir that up and let those start to sweat. I know. I wish I had a gas stove. Yeah, it's electric. I would love to have a gas stove, and in our next house, we're definitely doing gas. All right, so once these start to sweat, I'm going to cut my stove down because it specifically says to do medium heat. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these down and let these sweat just a little slower. And as you